Hi, welcome to this introduction to Hava. Hava allows you to connect cloud accounts from AWS, Azure, or GCP, and will scan the configuration of those cloud accounts and creates diagrams so you can see exactly what you have running automatically within a few seconds or minutes. So it saves you having to manually draw stuff, so you can get a bit of clarity on what's going on with very little effort. So on the main user interface, when you log in, you'll see we have a sidebar here showing you your environments, which is what we're looking at here, a list of sources, some available reports that we have, and the alert system. So sources, you can connect different cloud accounts using cross-account roles or credential files. So by adding a new environment, which is what you would do when you first sign up to Hava, you can come into the add environment and then select from AWS, Azure, GCP, or even standalone Kubernetes clusters. So there are full instructions in the docs on how to connect, which is all very simple, and you'll be up and running in no time. With the sources, you can, once you connect, then Hava will periodically go out and repoll your config, and any changes that are discovered, it will then create new diagrams for you automatically. So you don't need to be logged into Hava to do that. It just happens for you. Should you be working on something and you want to see the changes reflected immediately, then you can hop into the sources console and then just manually sync any of your sources to get updated diagrams straight away. So back on the main Hava dashboard, what you have across the top, you have the account that you're currently logged into, you have the projects selector. So projects allow you to group together cloud accounts and then allocate team members to those projects, so they don't necessarily see everything that you've got within your Hava account, just the environments you wish them to gain access to. Here we have a custom diagram box. So here you can create diagrams on the fly of specific subsets of diagrams. So maybe you're a database admin and you just want to see all the databases across all the cloud accounts within your organization. So you can use this to create that diagram, and then you can save it, and also Hava will then keep that diagram up to date for you. So across the top here, we've got access to help documentation. We've got the user menu where you can go in and set up your personal and account settings, billing details, cancel your account, and log out. In the next row, we've got our environment filters. So here you can select a specific environment type. So whether that be infrastructure diagrams, security diagrams, list views, and so forth. You can filter by source, so you can select or deselect all the different cloud accounts that you've got connected. You can also filter on those with text, so you can just find all of the sources that have the word demo in them, and then I can manually select the ones I want. Next, you can select by provider, so cloud provider. So here you can, by selecting any of these, you will just limit the displayed environments to the specific cloud provider. So if I want just AWS, I'd click that, and then I would just have AWS environments displayed. We also have an order by, so you can sort by name, date created, and so forth. And we also have the ability to pin or favorite environments. So if you've got one or two projects that you're working on and they have associated environments, and that's all the only thing you're interested in, then you can favorite an environment, and then you can order by favorites, which then brings all of your preferred environments to the top of the list. Okay, we can also manually search for environments, so any environment we're demoing it. Again, we can resize the environment cards, so we can get those blown up a bit bigger. And then finally we looked at adding a new environment here. So the next thing is to have a look at a diagram. So let's take a look at an AWS diagram. So this is automatically generated by connecting a cross-account role. And what we can see here is we've got a VPC called AWS Demo. We've got the diagram canvas with the VPC, a bunch of external resources, some S3 buckets, and so forth. We can zoom in and out to those. We can switch the names and connections on or off. We can stretch the resource width, we can stretch the resource height, so we get it displaying exactly how we like it. We can flip the diagram to isometric view, on or off, and then we can reset the canvas to standard. So in the diagram itself, we've got VPC, there we've got availability zones as the columns, and then within the AZs you've got your subnets, and again displaying the metadata related to the subnet. So we've got connected network interfaces and stuff that's not necessarily visible within the diagram canvas, but is known to exist. To the right hand side of the diagram, on the attribute pane at the bottom, you've got the ability to select different types of view. So for instance, if there was some containerized workloads associated, we can look at the container view. Look at the different tasks and services that are running with a status here of whether they're running, pending, stopped, and so forth. We can look at the extended infrastructure view, so that's similar to the first view we were looking at, except there's more information given on each of the resources. So here you can see IP addresses, names, and so forth. We have the list view. So the list view shows you everything that was discovered when Hava scanned your cloud configuration. So a lot of these won't necessarily be on the diagram, but they're here for your reference. You can also sort by price. So this will then show you all the most expensive resources that are running within that VPC. With details, and again interactive, so you can select a resource on the list view, and then it will tell you all about it. So we've got a security group view. So this is quite unique to Hava. So it shows you all of your security groups with the connected resources. Then you've got laid on top of that the traffic flow. So you can see from here you've got a port. Zoom in a bit on that. So it tells you the port, where it's coming, where it's going, the ingress and egress, IP addresses, tags. So a security guy can look at this diagram and say, oh hello, what's that doing coming in from the internet, going straight there. It's a very useful visualization of all the traffic flow within your VPC, and you can usually spot straight away if there's a problem. So that's it for views. We'll take a look at the versioning. Another powerful feature of Hava is versioning. So every day Hava will scan your cloud configuration, and if it finds any changes, it will create brand new diagrams for you and then place the superseded diagrams into versioning. So if we look at this example, we'll hop across the versions. You can see there are a number of historical versions of the diagram sitting here. So we can select an older version, and then Hava will pull up a completely interactive diagram as the environment was at that point in time. So you can still do all the stuff that you do with the live diagram. You can see the attributes, look at the different resources, and then look at the metadata as it was at that point in time. So if you're trying to track down bugs or errors, or you've got entries in the log that need explaining, you've got the information at hand to see what was going on at that point in time. Also very useful for audits. So if you have a PCI compliance audit, for instance, you've got the actual data here on hand to show the changes that were made over time. So talking of changes, in the versioning tab, we've got a compare revisions facility here. So this is our Diff View. So if we take the current diagram, which is here, and then we'll go compare revisions, and then we can select a second diagram, being diagram B. So we'll pick the oldest one here. So now you can see the Hava's gone away. It's taken the today's diagram, one from April, made a comparison. So now you can see everything here that's highlighted in red has been deleted between those two time frames. Anything in green, you see the green items here have been added. So you've got a complete picture of everything that's changed. So if your application stops working overnight, you can pull the diff diagram and then see exactly what's missing or what's been added that could be the cause of a problem. So there we go, that's Diff View. We believe that's also very, very unique to Hava and quite a powerful feature. Another unique feature with Hava is its ability to place diagrams outside of the application with an interactive viewer. So this means you can put your diagrams into a wiki, into support tickets, into a website, intranet, what have you. Anywhere that accepts iframes, you can place an interactive Hava diagram. So if we look at we'll pull up an environment. So we've got our diagram we want to place outside. So come on to share, and then grab the embed code, and then copy that. So in this example, we'll hop out to Notion. Paste in the iframe. So now we have a fully interactive Hava diagram sitting within our Notion doc. So what happens when that diagram updates within Hava? This diagram will also update. So it's an embed once, and then it's up to date for the life of the diagram. This also works with, if we have a look at this blog post, for instance, so it's a fair while ago, 2020, so nearly 3 years ago, when we created this, and as you can see, the diagram is still live and interactive. So there we go. So you've got three options when you embed. So you've got a full embed, which takes all of the diagram, the attribute pane with the metadata in it. You've got an embed light, which takes the diagram. Again, it's fully interactive, but without any of the sensitive metadata visible. So that's probably more appropriate for public-facing properties. And then also you've got embed PNG. So PNG is a static snapshot of the diagram only, and it allows you to place that PNG in a web property. And then the beauty of the endpoint is that as the environment changes and the diagram updates, so does the PNG. So again, it's an embed once and stay up to date for the life of the diagram. You can export your Hava diagrams to a number of formats. So we've got a diagram open here. We come up to the export button, then we can select from PDF, PNG, VSDX, which is Visio, and also Draw.io format, CSV and JSON raw data files. So if we have a look at PDF, so it's now building the document. Export's complete. Now we can download. So we have our raw PDF file. We can also export to VSDX. And then open that file in Draw.io. Which then opens that up for editing. So if you're starting some design work and want to use your base current infrastructure as the starting point, then using the VSDX export allows you to do that. So from here you can add more resources, annotate, and basically do your work outside of Hava. So Hava doesn't let you add or remove anything from the diagrams within the application, so that the integrity of the diagrams remains intact and always reflects what's physically running, not what might be running in the future. Another unique feature of Hava are the alerts, or architecture monitoring alerts. So what Hava can do is tell you via email when anything has changed in either a specific environment or across all of your environments. This happens when you set up alerts. So if we hop into the alerts dashboard, you can see we've got a bunch of alerts already set up. So to set up a new alert, we go to add new. We can give it a name, description. Then we have the ability here to send to an email, a team, or a specific Hava user. So in this one, we'll just use a random email. Then we add, and then we select the target environment to monitor. So if you click over here, you'll have all of your environments listed. So we can say, okay, monitor alert demo. And then we can create the alert, which I won't do just at this point. So when you have an alert running, when changes are detected, it will send you an email. So we'll have a look at this alert here, for instance. we can see that we're monitoring 3 environments, and we've got 1 user receiving the notifications, and then as events are fired, emails are sent, and then a copy of the details of the alert are also stored in the console, so we can look into the details. So we can see here we're monitoring for Lambda changes. Nothing was added in this particular alert, but this function was removed. So you can know straight away when things are changing, and then you can choose to whether you go to investigate that or not. So that's Hava Alerts, quite a powerful feature, and lots of use cases specifically around security and for managers to keep an eye on what's going on. Hava's custom search allows you to not only create diagrams on the fly based on different subsets of data from a diagram or combinations of resources from different diagrams or even different providers. It also allows you to find things quickly. So if you've got hundreds of accounts connected, then you can find stuff really quickly using just a single search. So up here at the top, you've got the search box, and then we've got the different options that are available. So to the right hand side, there's a documentation, and this gives a very detailed description of the search syntax, what you can do, how you can join search commands together, and build quite complex search commands to find exactly what you're looking for. So an example, if we look at sources, so let's say I want to look at my AWS source, or let's go Azure. So what Hava's doing now is going off and finding all the resources related to either of those 2 data sources. So as you can see, we've got now a hybrid diagram with AWS and Azure showing. So again, all fully interactive. You can see exactly what's going on. What I can now do is save this diagram. And what will happen now is that this environment, which has been created on the fly, will now get saved into my environments dashboard, and Hava will then continually update. So as resources in either of these 2 cloud accounts change, then I will get updates to this diagram without having to research or rebuild it. So if we hop back to our environments, now we can see the custom diagram is now sitting in our dashboard. So another use case might be if you're a database admin and you want to know where all the databases are living through all of the cloud accounts you're managing, you can come up to here, search by resource type. Let's go RDS instance. So just show me all the RDS databases that I'm looking after. So now we've got a diagram with multiple VPCs from different environments, but all on the one diagram, so I can go through methodically and look at each of these. So, and on this diagram, as well as the VPC, you've also got the environment name to the bottom right, so you can go straight to that environment if you need to make changes on the console level. Okay, another use will be if you have an IP address that crops up in a log somewhere, you can search by IP. So that takes me straight to the resource with that IP address that I just searched for. And again, with the VPC, you've got the environment name, so DOM VPC, so I can hop back out to my environments. So I might, even if there were thousands here, I've gone directly to that particular environment, so then I can see which resource was of a concern. So that's the custom search. We can build hybrid or custom diagrams and also find resources incredibly quickly. Hava currently supports 4 different cloud providers, namely AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and Kubernetes. With the AWS diagrams, you have a number of views. So we've got our infrastructure view here. We've got an extended infrastructure view, security group view, a container view, and a list view showing you all the resources that are displayed or not. With Azure, same deal. We've got all the auto-discovered resources displayed. Again, we've got a monthly estimate for everything that's running, and then we've got the same selection of views. So we've got the list view detailing everything that's discovered, whether it's on the diagram or not. Extended infrastructure view just gives a bit more information, and then the security group view. Like so, GCP is the same, bar at the moment there's no security group view, just because of the mechanics of how GCP works. So, but everything that's running in the cloud account is displayed here. And then finally we have Kubernetes. So that's connecting directly to a Kubernetes cluster as opposed to a different cloud provider account. So you can see here we've got cluster, pods, services, and so forth. So on top of the capabilities of the Hava application itself, there are a number of integrations that we've built to make specifically CI/CD pipeline work a lot easier. So if we hop across to the documentation, under integrations, you can see we've got a few listed here. First off, we've got AWS Control Tower. What this integration allows you to do is, as you add accounts to your AWS organization via the Control Tower vending machine, you can also add those accounts to your Hava sources. So it fully automates the process. So as you add new accounts, then they are added to your Hava account and then synced so that the diagrams are created as you add resources and so forth. Next on the list is the CLI. So the CLI is a command line facility to allow you to script and perform Hava functions such as adding sources, syncing diagrams and so forth manually. So you can read about the CLI here in the docs and exactly what you can do with it, and also you'll find it over on GitHub. Next on the list is Confluence Cloud. So this allows you to embed the Hava viewer within your Confluence pages. So it brings support and other resources that you might like to hold in Confluence in your wiki using the Hava viewer. So that can be found on the Atlassian Marketplace. Next we have GitHub Actions. So here you can build Hava operations within your CI/CD pipeline when you're using GitHub. Again, that's the documentation's here. your integrations, or you can hop across to GitHub and grab it from there. And finally, we've got a Terraform provider. So again, all the full docs are found here, and also on the Terraform registry. And last but not least, we have a API. So again, links are here in our docs, and over at Swagger Hub you can find all of the documentation on the operations available within the API. In terms of help and support, we've got a lot of different options for you. Firstly, in the application itself, you've got the link to the docs here. So there's quite extensive documentation covering every aspect of Hava. From my website, you can link to that documentation here for users. There's also help for developers and help on the API. You can contact us via the contact form here, and also use this intercom chat to talk to a real person. Don't hesitate to get in touch. So to move forward with Hava, there are a number of options. On the pricing page on our website, we have the different tiers that are available. So this allows you to get a 14-day free trial on the Teams plan, and then depending on your requirements, you can then at the end of the 14 days select which tier to move forward with. If you are a large organization, enterprise, then chat to us about your requirements. You can also buy on AWS Marketplace. So this allows you to subscribe to Hava via your AWS account. So that's sometimes path of least resistance in terms of setting up vendors and things like that. Once you've subscribed to Hava, you can at any point in time come into your settings and change plans. And you can also come into account details and delete your account at any point in time. There's no need to contact us. You can do that whenever you like. So that concludes our introduction to Hava. We hope you come and check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye.